See, coming to time and work. Coming to time and work. In time and work, the concepts are groups. It means like 10 people can do a work in 20 days, that kind of stuff. Group, okay. Same type and different type. In different type, you will see that 10 men and 5 boys kind of stuff. Individuals and individual on alternate days. What's the terminology here? Generally use efficiency, rate, time and work. Okay. See, what is the relation between efficiency, time and work? Work is equivalent to efficiency into time. When work is constant, simple. When efficiency increases, the time taken will decrease. Generally in problems, efficiency will be given in terms of number of people. What does it mean? When number of people increases means automatically the group's efficiency is increasing. When number of people are more means the efficiency is more, then the time taken will be less. Okay. Now this is a general formula you use for groups problems. M1 D1 H1 by W1 is equivalent to M2 D2 H2 by W2. What is M1 here? M is number of men, D means number of days, H means number of hours, W stands for work. M stands for men, D stands for days, H stands for hours, W stands for work. If suppose hours is not specified, then what I have to consider is number of hours is constant. H1 is equals to H2. Then this formula will become M1 D1 by W1 equivalent to M2 D2 by W2. When work is constant means the product of efficiency and time is constant. D1 H1 is nothing but time. Okay, here it is time. M1 is nothing but efficiency and M2 is also efficiency. Okay, generally efficiency is in terms of men, a number of people. Okay. Now if hours is not specified, same case, if hours is not specified, then I have to consider H1 is equal to H2, then this formula will become M1 D1 equal to M2 D2. See here, 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. How many workers should be employed so as to complete the work in 125 days? Here what is given? M1 is given and D1 is given and D2 is given. We have to find M2. What is the formula? M1 D1 equal to M2 D2. So 50 men can do a work in 200 days. And how many workers should be employed so as to complete the work in 125 days? So how many men are required? I have to find this. 25 5s, 25 8s, 5 1s, 5 10s. So M2 is equals to 80. So number of days required is 80. See here, extension to the previous question. 50 men could complete a work in 200 days, working 6 hours a day. What is given? M1 is given, D1 is given, H1 is given. Now how many workers should be employed so as to complete the work in 25 days, working 12 hours a day? What is given? D2 is given and H2 is given. Okay, we have to consider W1 is equal to W2 because to complete the work, this is what is given. Now what is the formula we have to use? M1 D1 H1 equals to M2 D2 H2. What is M here? M1 50, days is 200, hours is 6. M2, what is M2? We have to find that. D2 25, H2 is 12. 25 ones, 25 twos. 2 6 are 12, 12 is get cancelled. So M2 equivalent to 200. The number of days required is 200. See here, 50 men could complete a work in 200 days, working 6 hours a day. How many workers should be employed so as to complete twice the work? Here using the word twice the work in 125 days, working 12 hours. Now what is given here? M1 is given, D1 is given, H1 is given. We don't know W1 here, we'll see that later. How many workers should be employed so as to complete twice the work? If the work you consider W1, twice the work means W2. 2w1, 2 times w1 because twice the work. Okay, in 125 days working 12 hours a day, then what is the formula? It become m1 d1 h1 by w1 equivalents to m2 d2 h2 by w2. Now what is m1 is given 50, days is given how much? 200, h1 is given 6. Consider the w1 be w. Okay, m2, what is m2? That is what we have to find. m2 days 125, hours 12 divided by twice the work he said, so 2w. W and w will get cancels. 6 ones, 6 twos, 25 fives, 25 eights, 5 ones, 5 tens, 2 ones, 2 fours. So m2 equivalents to, if you take this 2 to the right hand side, m2 equivalents to 10 into 4 into 2, that equals to 80. Now 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. They worked together for 150 days. After that, due to bad weather, the work is stopped for 25 days. How many more workers should be employed so as to complete the work? See here how to tackle these kind of questions is after kind of stuff. Actually, if there are 50 men can complete the work in 200 days. Let us consider this is total 200 days. They worked for how many days? 150 days. They worked for 150 days. So this is 150. Still how many days of work is left over? 50 days of work is left over. 50 days of work is left over. So if there are 50 men, these 50 men can complete this work in how many days? 50 days. This is the leftover work. This is already completed work. This is already completed work. Now 50 into 50 is the work remained. But what happened after 150 days? Due to bad weather, the work is stopped for 25 days. Now the work is stopped for 25 days. How many more workers should be employed so as to complete the work in time? So they haven't worked for 25 days. Out of 50 days, they haven't worked for 25 days. But in 25 days, you have to do the remaining work. Because actually they have to complete the work in 50 days. As they haven't worked for 25 days, still how many days is left over? 25 days. The 25 days I have to complete the work. It means I need extra efficiency or extra people. Okay. Now, actually to complete the work in 25 days, how many men are there initially? 50. 50 men are there. I need some more people. Let us say with workforce X is required. It's clear? 25 ones, 25 twos. So 50 plus X is equivalent to 100. X is equivalent to 50. So how many more workers should be employed? Simply 50. The answer is 50. 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. They worked together for 80 days. After that, 20 members left the group. After that, 20 members left the group. How many workers are required to complete the remaining work? Now, look at this here. Actually, they have to complete the work in how many days? 200 days. They worked together for how many days? 80 days. So, 80 days of work is over. Still, how many days of work is left over? 120 days of work is left over. This is the leftover. So, if there are 50 men, if there is no change, this work will be completed as usual in 120 days. So, 50 members can complete the work in 120 days. But what happened after 80 days? 20 members left the group. How many members were there initially? 50 men are there. If 20 members are left, the number of people will become how much? 30. In how many days? They can complete the remaining work. Let us say the number of days required to be D. 30 ones, 30 fours. So number of days required is 200 days. Because he is asking remaining work. If there are only 50 men, they can complete the work in 120 days. But as the number of people left, the efficiency is going down. So the number of days required will increase. So that is the reason we are getting 200 days to complete the remaining work. 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. They worked together for 80 days. See here, 50 men can complete the work in 200 days. This is given 200 days. They worked together for how many days? 80 days. 80 days of work is over. Okay, this is what so far. After that, 20 members left the group. The number of people has become how much? 30, because 20 members left the group. How many days are required to complete the total work? He is asking to complete the total work. If there is no change in the number of people, they can complete the remaining work in 120 days. Because already 80 days of work is over, they can complete the remaining work in 120 days. But what happened? Number of people has reduced to how much? 30. Because it is 20 member left. So 50 minus 20 is 30. And how many days they complete the work? On simplification, you will get D equal to 200. But what is the question is asking? How many days are required to complete the total work? This total work is asking. Okay, total work equivalents to this. From here to here, these 30 people are taking how many days? 200 days. Okay, but the work started here. So 200 plus 80. So to complete the total work, the number of days required is 280 days. 280 days. Okay. Now 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. They worked together for 60 days. After that, 20 members joined the group. How many days are required to complete the remaining work? He is asking only for the remaining work. Now this work can be completed in how many days? 200 days if there are 50 men. They worked together for 60 days. How many days is work completed? 60 days of work is completed. Still how many days of work is left over? 140 days of work is left over. But what happened after 60 days? After that, 20 members left the group. The number of people will become, after that 20 members joined the group, not left the group, joined the group. It means the group efficiency is increased. If it is increased, the number of days required will get decreased. Okay. Now if there are 50 men, they can complete the remaining work in 140 days. But what happened here? The workforce is increased by 20. The workforce is increased by 20. So this 50 will become 70 men. How many days they require to complete the work? 71s, 72s. Implies D equal to 100 days. 50 men could complete a work in 200 days. Same. 50 men can complete the work in how many days? 200 days. They worked together for 60 days. They worked for how many days? 60 days. After that, 20 members joined the group. How many days are required to complete the total work? Here you have to find the total work. See, you have to be careful whether he is asking for us to find total work or remaining work. Okay. Now, after 60 days, if there are 50 men, they can complete the work in 140 days. If there are only 50 men, they can complete the work in 140 days. But what happens to number of men? Number of men is increased by, join the group, increased by 20. The number of people has become 70. Now, how many days is required? So, D equal to 100. But he is asking how many days are required to complete the total work. So, total work can be completed in 160 days. In 160 days. See, The remaining work can be completed in 100 days, but when they started 60 days before, so the total work can be completed in 160 days. So coming to individuals, A can do a work in M days and B can do a work in N days. C can do the work in R days. Okay, it means if A takes M days to complete a work, in one day he will do how much part of the work? A's 1 day work. A's 1 day work equals to 1 by M. B's 1 day work. B is taking how many days to complete the work? N days. So 1 day's work, B's 1 day work will be 1 by N. Similarly, C's 1 day work equals to 1 by R. It means, what does it mean? They are doing 1 by mth part of work in 1 day. Likewise, if they do for 1 m days, 1 by m, 1 by m, 1 by m and so on m days, the sum will be equivalent to 1. It means one complete work. Okay, so this is how generally people traditional way, but in competitive exams you shouldn't do like this. It is a time consuming process. Okay, this is what B's 1 day work is 1 by n, 1 by n, 1 by n. Likewise, they do n days, so n into 1 by n, and n will get cancelled. They complete one total work. Okay, we'll see how to do it logically in the exam. See, here it is. C. A can do a work in 10 days. A's 1 day work is how much? 1 by 10. B's 1 day work is how much? 1 by 15, because B can do a work in 15 days. C can do a work in 30 days. So C's 1 day work is 1 by 30. If all three work together, so 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15 plus 1 by 30. This is the calculation we have to do. Okay, this is A, B, C together they do in 1 day, and again you have to divide with 1. Don't do this method in the exam. What is the best way? We will see how to tackle these kind of questions. As we don't know the total work, okay, as we don't know the total work, assume the total work as W. Okay, so A can do the work in 10 days. It means in 10 days A is doing how much work? W units of work. So W by 10. A's 1 day's work is W by 10. B's 1 day work is W by 15. C's 1 day work is W by 30. Number of days required is nothing but, this is work done by A in 1 day. This is work done by B in 1 day. This is work done by C in 1 day. So their total work is in 1 day is 1 by 10, that W by 10, W by 15 plus W by 30. W by 30. This is A, B, C's 1 day's work. They can complete the total work in. So total work is how much we assumed? The W by 10 plus W by 15 plus W by 20. Okay. Now what you do is W here, W if you take common, you will get 1 by 10 plus 1 by 15 plus 1 by 20. W will get cancels, which is equals to 1 by 1 by 10, 1 by 15 plus 1 by 30. So this is how, this is 30 actually. This is how you do in the exam. Generally you learn the process, but what we suggest is don't ever follow this method. Okay, what we have to do in the initial stage itself. Anyhow your W is getting cancelled. Okay, you can take W can be taken by any value. You can give any value to W. Okay, it can be 1, 2, 3, any value. It is of no use because it is getting cancelled. Finally you left with this only. Okay, so to do in a simple way, what I suggest you to do is concentrate on the number of days that A take and B take and C took. Simply take a convenient value for W, which makes our calculation simple. Okay, that convenient value is nothing but LCM of 10, 15, 30, nothing but days, LCM of the given days. What is LCM of 10, 15 and 30? Nothing but 30. Assume the total work as 30. See here, assume the total work as 30 divided by, in 10 days A is doing how many units? It can complete the total work. In 10 days A can do 30 units of work. Per day A will do how many units? 3 units. Similarly, in 15 days B is doing 30 units. Per day B will do how many units? 2 units. In 1 day, in 30 days, C is doing 30 units. So per day, C will do how many units? 1 unit. Simple. 30 by 6, which is equals to 5 days. In one go, you can solve this question. 5 days. Okay. See here. A can do a work in 10 days. B can do a work in 15 days. A and B together can do the work in. Simple. Let us assume total work equivalent to 30 units. This is nothing but LCM of 10 and 15. Okay. Now, A and B work together can do a work in how many days? Simple. Work by work done per day. Work done per day. This is what we have to find. Work by work done per day. What is the total work we assumed? 30. Now, A takes how many days to complete 30 units? 10 days. In 10 days, A is doing 30 units. In 10 days, A is doing 30 units. Per day, A will do how many units? 3 units per day. That is nothing but 30 by 10. So, per day, A is doing 3 units. Similarly, B takes 15 days to complete 30 units. So, per day, B will do how many units? 2 units per day. Is it clear? So, A is doing 3 units and B is doing 2 units. Together, they do how many units? 5 units. Simply 30 by 5, which is equals to 6 days. That's all. This is an answer. See here. Similarly, assume the total work as 20. Nothing but LCM of 10 and 20. A is taking 10 days to complete 20 units. So, per day A will do how many units? 2 units. 20 by 10. Similarly, B will do how many units per day? 1 unit per day, because B is taking 20 days to complete 20 units. So, per day B will do 1 unit. Simply the answer is 20 by 3. That equals to 6 2 by 3 days. Okay. Next. A can do a work in 10 days. B can do a work in 20 days. A and B working independently on alternate days. Well, how to solve this process? Okay. See here. A can do a work in 10 days and B can do the work in 20 days. Assume the total work as LCM of 10 and 20. That is nothing but 20 units. Number of days required if they work together. What happens? If they work together, they can complete the work in 20 by. How many units A will do? 2 units per day. B will do 1 unit per day. How we are getting these 2 units? A takes 10 days to complete 20 units. 10 days to complete 20 units. So, per day A will do how many units? 2 units per day. Similarly, B will do 1 unit per day. So, that is how we are getting 2 plus 1. So, the answer is 20 by 3, which equals to 6 2 by 3 days if they work together. But are they working together? No. Independently on alternate days. What happens here? How to solve this question? So, per day A is doing, let us say A begins the work. A is doing 2 units on first day. Similarly, B will do 1 unit on the second day. Similarly, A1, A2, B1, A2, B1, A2, B1, A2, B1, A2, B1. So, for how many days is over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many units are covered? 3 units. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. 12 plus 3, 15. 15 plus 3, 18. Still, how many units of work is left over? 2 units of work is left over, because we assume the total work as 20 units. Now, on 13th day, who has to do the work? A has to do the work. So, A can complete the work in on the 13th day. Now, how many days they required? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If A starts the work will be completed in 13 days. If A starts, then 13 days. What happens if B starts? BA 1, 2, 3 units is over. 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 9, 1, 2, 12, 1, 2, 15, 1, 2, 18. Again 1, 19 units. But A takes 1 day to complete 2 units. So, to do 1 unit, A will take how much time? Only half day. So, if B starts the work, how many days is required? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Here A is taking only half day to complete 1 unit of work. So, if B starts, the answer is 13 and a half days. Okay. But we have to know who started the work. Then only we can give exact answer. Okay, now how we can solve this question in a logical way? Okay, see here, take total work as 20 units. Together they're doing how many units? 3 units. Divide total work with the work done per day if they work together. So how many days is required? 6. Maximum till they work 6 days. 3 6 are 18. What is the remainder? 2. After working 6 days, 2 units of work is left over. This 6 days A is working as well as B is working. It means A 6 days plus B 6 days, because they are independently working independently. So for 12 days is over. Now these 2 units, what happens to who will do these 2 units? Whoever starts the work, they will do an odd number day. If A starts the work, A will do 13th day. A is doing 2 units per day. So if A starts the work, A can finish these 2 units on 13th day. So if A starts the work will be completed in 13 days. That is what we got here. Suppose if B starts the work, what happens? On 13th day B will do 1 unit. Still 1 unit is left over. On 20th day A has to do, but A can finish the 1 unit in half day. Simply, if B does the work, what happens? This 12 days plus 1 13, and to do this 1 unit A take half day. Simply 13 and a half days. Okay. A can do a work in 10 days, B can do a work in 15 days. A and B working independently on alternate days. Simple. Assume the total work is 30. Per day A will do how many units? 3 units. Per day B will do how many units? 2 units. Simple. If A takes 10 days to complete 30 units, per day A will do 3 units per day. Similarly, B will do 2 units per day. Total work divided by units work done per day, that equal to 6 days. I am getting an integer. It means A has to work for 6 days and B has to work for 6 days. The total is 12 days. Simply the answer is 12 days. Very simple. A is twice as efficient as B, and who is twice as efficient as C? It means if C does 1 unit, B will do 2 units and A will do 4 units. If C does X units, B will do 2X units and A will do 4X units. Okay, simple. If all 3 together can complete a work in 60 days, it means A, B, C, 3 together can complete work in 60 days. The question will be asked like this: if A works alone, then how many days is required? Simple. If A, B, C together taking how many days are taking? 60 days. Then if C does X units per day, then B will do 2X and A will do 4X. So total all 3 together are doing how many units? 7X units per day. This will be the total work divided by what is work done by A per day? 4X. X and X will get cancels. 4 ones, 4 15s. That equal to 105 days. If A works alone, he can complete the work in 105 days. What happens if B works alone? Simple. Total work, which is nothing but 60 into what is work done by A, B, C, all 3 together? 7X per day. So total work equals to 60 into 7X divided by how much B is doing per day? 2X. Simple. Total work by number of units per day. Number of work done per day. Okay. X and X will get cancels. 2 ones, 2 30s. If B works alone, he can complete the work in 2 10 days. What happens if C works alone? Simple logic. Simple. 60 into 7X. This is the total work. And C is doing how many units per day? X units per day. So 60 into 7, 420. X will cancel to 420 days. That's all. Okay. Sometimes they may ask, if A and B work together, even that is also very simple. A and B work together. What is the total work? Because all 3 together taking how many days? 60 days. So 60. All 3 together doing how many units per day? 7X per day. This is the total work divided by A and B work together. A is doing how many units per day? 4X. B is doing 2X per units per day. So together they will do 6X units per day. Simply on simplifying, you get 70 days. What happens if A, C work together? Same. 60 into total work is 7X. 60 into 7X. If A, C works together, A is doing 4X units per day and C is doing 5X units per day. Together they do 5X units per day. X and X should get cancels. 5 ones, 5 12s, which is equals to 84 days. See, coming to mixed groups. In mixed group, what they give? X men or Y women or Z children can do a work in n days. What does it mean? X men can complete the work in n days. Y men also take n days. Z children also will take n days. They are completing the work in same amount of time. It means efficiency of this group is equivalent to efficiency of this group and efficiency of this group. It means efficiency of X men is equivalent to efficiency of Y women equivalent to efficiency of Z children. Okay, let us see example. 3 men or 4 women can do a work in 12 days. Then in how many days 3 men and 4 women can do the same work? Simple. 3 men taking 12 days. 4 women are also taking 12 days. It means 3 men's efficiency is equivalent to 4 women's efficiency. Clear? Now you can replace 3 men with 4 women, or you can replace 4 women with 3 men. What is the question is asking? 3 men and 4 women can do the work in how many days? Okay. Now can I replace this 4 women with 3 men? So simply the question is nothing but 6 men can do the work in how many days? Simple. If 3 men are taking 12 days, 6 men will take how many days? That is what you have to find. 3m1s, 3m2s, 2 1s, 2 6. So together they can come to the work in 6 days. That's all. Very simple. Let us do extension of this. 3 men or 4 women can do a work in 12 days. Then in how many days 1 man and 1 woman can do the same work? Here, earlier case, 3 men and 4 women, as the efficiency is same, they can complete the work in 6 days. But here 1 man and 1 woman, so we don't know how much part of work they are doing per day. How to tackle these kind of questions? We know that efficiency of 3 men is equivalent to efficiency of 4 women. 4 women, let us say they are doing 12 units per day. This is very very important step. Okay, 12 units per day. I am assuming this. Why I am taking 12? To make my calculation simple. How would I know that I have to take only 12? Simple. What is the coefficient of men here? 3. What is the coefficient of women here? 4. Simply take the LCM of 3 and 4. So you will get this. Now 3 men are doing how many units per day? 12 units per day. How many days they take to complete the work? 12 days. So total work equivalent to number of days into work done per day. That equals to how much? 144 units. Total work is 144 units. Now what is the question? If 3 men are taking 12 units, doing 12 units per day, 1 man will do how many units per day? 4 units per day. Similarly, 1 woman will do how many units per day? 3 units per day. Because 4 women together are doing 12 units per day. So 1 woman will do 12 by 4, which is 3 units per day. Now the question here is 1 man and 1 woman. So 1 man and 1 woman together are doing how many units per day? 7 units per day. Together they are doing 7 units per day. If they work together, the total work can be completed in how many days? What is the total work? 144. And what is the work done per day? 7. Simplify this. 720 is 144 by 7. So 24 by 7 days. See here, 3 men or 6 children can do the work in 12 days. In how many days 3 men and 6 children can do the work? Simple. Efficiency of 3 men is same as efficiency of 6 children because using the word or. If 3 men can do the work in 12 days, okay, now 3 men and 6 children. These 6 children can be replaced with 3 men. These 6 children can be replaced with 3 men because these are two efficiencies are same. Then 6 men can do the work in how many days? The question is 3 men and 6 children. These 6 children can be replaced with 3 men. That is nothing but 6 men. Okay, because efficiency of 6 children is equals to efficiency of 3 men. So replacing 6 children with 3 men. So 3m plus 3m, which is nothing but 6m. Simple. 3 men and 6 children can do the same work. That is nothing but 6m can do the work in how many days? Okay, simple. 3m into 12 equivalents to 6m into d. 3 ones, 3 twos. So d equals to 6 2 ones, 2 sixes. 6 days is an answer. Here 3 men or 6 children means efficiency of 3 men equal to efficiency of 6 children. Assume that they are doing 6 units per day. How I am choosing 6 units? Simply assume that they are doing 6 units per day. How I am getting this 6? Simply LCM of 3 and 6. If 3 men are doing 6 units per day, 1 man will do how many units per day? 2 units per day. 1 children will do how many units per day? 1 unit per day. What is the total work? Total work equivalents to what is given? 3 men can do a work in 12 days. It means 3 men 1 day's work. How much are taking? 6 units, because 3 men are doing 6 units per day. How many days they require to complete the work? 12 days. It means total work is 72 units. 72 units. What is the question is asking? 1 man and 1 children. 1 man and 1 children can do the same work in. So total number of days required, days equivalents to total work. What is total work? 72 units. And how many units they are doing per day? With efficiency of 1 man and 1 children. 1 man is doing 2 units and 1 children is doing 1 unit. So 2 plus 1. 72 by 2 plus 1, that is nothing but 72 by 3. That equals to 24 days. Next one. 3 men or 4 women or 6 children can do a work in 12 days. It means 3 men can do a work in 12 days, 4 women can do a work in 12 days, 6 children can do a work in 12 days. Then in how many days 3 men, here what is the given information? 3 men can do a work in 12 days, 4 women can do a work in 12 days, 6 children can do a work in 12 days. Okay, it means efficiency of 3 men equals to efficiency of 4 women equals to efficiency of 6 children. Then in how many days 3 men and 4 women and 6 children can do the work? Simple. If 3 men take 12 days, so 3m into 12, this is the total work. We know that efficiency of 3 men equal to efficiency of 4 women. It means these 4 women can be replaced with 3 men. Similarly, these 6 children can be replaced with 3m. What is the total efficiency has become? 3 plus 3 plus 3 with 9 times the men's efficiency. Okay, how many days is required? That's what I have to find. 3 ones, 3 threes, 3 ones, 3 fours. So D equal to 4 days. See here, 3 men or 4 women or 6 children can do a work in 12 days. We can say that efficiency of 3 men equals to efficiency of 4 women equals to efficiency of 6 children. They are taking how many days? 12 days. Then in how many days 1 man, 1 woman and 1 children can do the same work? Here, how to tackle this question? Let us find work done per day. Let us assume that 3 men or 4 women or 6 children will do 12 units per day. How we are choosing this 12? Nothing but LCM of 3, 4 and 6. Why I choose 12? To make our calculation simple. Now 3 men are taking how many days to complete the work? 12 days. This was given. But 3 men are doing how many units per day? 12 units per day. So total work equivalents to work done per day, that is 12 units per day, into number of days it took to complete the work, which is given 12 days. So total work equal to 144. But what is the question? One man plus one woman and one children can complete the work in. If 3 men are doing 12 units per day, one man will do how many units per day? 4 units per day. If 4 women are doing 12 units per day, one woman will do how many units per day? 3 units per day. If 6 children are doing 12 units per day, one children will do how many units per day? 2 units per day. All 3 together doing how many units per day? 9 units per day. So time required to complete the work is equals to time required to complete the work, or days required to complete the work is nothing but total work divided by work done per day. What is work done per day? 9. On simplification you get 16 days. Thank you.